Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an outstanding guest. As a matter of fact, he's an exemplary person here in Lake County. Mr. Clyde McLemore. He's a community activist, and he's also the chairman of the Black Lives Matter movement. Greetings, Mr. McLemore.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks.
We're very happy that you've taken time from your schedule, really you're literally from your schedule, to be here with us to let Lake County know about the Flint, Michigan water crisis. For those that don't know who you are, give a listening audience a little bit about Clyde McLemore.
Well, I'm a community activist, as you stated.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I took over the position as the Lake County chapter chair for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Okay.
I'm out in the trenches. I'm working with the people, trying to help people of color.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some with the police, when the police is involved, or anything that's dealing with people of color.
Mm-hmm. Yes, our Bible tells us that we are our brother's keeper, right? So right. When people are in need, then we should make ourselves available. Go ye therefore into all of the world, you know, and help those that are less fortunate. But we don't have any commercials on this program now. We're going straight through, and I guess we're going to fast forward and talk about the Flint, Michigan water crisis. Why focus on Flint, Michigan water crisis nationwide?
Well, Dr. Brooks, I've been hearing about what's going on in Flint, Michigan,
mm-hmm.
but nobody ever thought in a country as wealthy as the United States that this would happen. I visited a third world country before in my lifetime, and I didn't see the problem when I was in a third world country to what I visioned, what was going on. I was on a conference call, and I heard that some people were going down to Flint, Michigan to deliver a truck of water.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when they got there, they were told that they can only give the families 1 case of water.
Mm.
And this was their donation. So I got the call when I heard about it, and they left 8 cases of water in front of the city hall building because it was told that they could only give families 1 case of water. So they left 8 of them, closed the truck up, and went in the neighborhood and knocked on doors and started giving people water.
Okay.
So when they came back and told me what experience that they had, I slept on it, and it was like God woke me up and said, Clyde, you got to go down there and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I started out, I have a Facebook page. I started out by asking all my friends, I got 3,000 friends on Facebook,
wow,
that if they could give me 1 case of water, that I would take it down there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought out of 3,000, I'd probably get 500 cases.
Okay.
And I get a cargo van and drive it down there.
Mm-hmm.
The response was so great that we got 1,000 cases of water. We also had 50 cases of baby water, and we got 2 cargo vans.
Mm-hmm.
And I called my brother, Ralph Peterson.
Okay.
And Ralph said he was on board. I called Chris Blanks, Brother Blanks,
okay.
Bam. He said that he was on board, that we could store water there. So I had places like in North Chicago, which was the What's Happening headquarters for the What's Happening magazine.
Mm-hmm.
That was the North Chicago drop-off spot.
Okay.
Bam and Golden Touch Barbershop was WAUKEGAN. Golden Touch is at 612 North Avenue.
Okay.
They were the drop-off spots for water in WAUKEGAN. Mm-hmm. And of course, my home and Salem Food was the drop-off spots in Zion.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the response was really great.
Mm-hmm. I know the country is aware of what has been going on in the water crisis there in Michigan. So when you spoke, people listened and didn't hesitate. For instance, you contacted Mount Sinai Institution Baptist Church, and I guess they gave 20 cases?
Yes.
20 cases, right? And, of course, you called me, and automatically, now I couldn't pick up the cases, but I say, well, I'm going to a couple of places, and if you come get them, you got 10 cases from one location, and across the parking lot, 10 cases from another location. And so I could see right away, because people are so had empathy, and they can understand just the background. But tell us that, we might as well, what caused this crisis? It didn't just happen overnight, right?
No, it didn't. This started in 2013. The current governor, which is Governor Snyder,
Mm-hmm.
Was advised that if he switched the water from Detroit to Flint River,
Mm-hmm.
that he would save the state $20 million. Now, mind you, Flint, Michigan used to be a hub for factories.
Oh, okay.
Because GE was there. They had over 800,000 employees. Now they only have 800 employees. But
Okay.
GE was there, and then GM was there.
Mm.
So the Flint River was a dumping spot for wasted material. So the governor was advised that it may be some contamination in that in 2013. Because the proof is he didn't want to give up his emails. And last week he did give up his emails, and he was advised of the termination in the water, and even had all the Flint employees, state employees, to drink nothing but bottled water.
Mm. Mm. So he really didn't care about the people in Flint, right?
No, he didn't care, and neither did the mayor at that time, which I don't know his name, but he didn't. I am real grateful to the mayor now, Dr. Karen Weaver, who helped expose this case.
She just happened to be an African American.
Yes, she is.
Right. Well, what about the location of Flint? Where is it
Flint
located?
from Lake County, it's a 4.5-hour drive straight up I-80 and over to going towards Detroit.
Okay.
And then it's like 65 miles. I don't know if we was east or west. I used my GPS to get there. But I know we didn't stay on a major highway because we took 127 and then over to 69 and went right into Flint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But tell us about, you know, the water was diverted from the Lake Huron. Is that it? The one
No,
that was.
The lake that Detroit uses has fresh water. It has a purification in it that Flint was using.
Okay.
What happened was the governor has to pay that city for that water.
Okay.
So they figured they could save $20 million by switching it over to Flint River.
Mm.
And the Flint River is so contaminated that, see, lead pipes are in a home. If a home was built in 1986 or before
Okay.
1986,
Okay.
most of the homes have lead pipes. which they were supposed to change them pipes, but they didn't.
Okay.
So the contamination that was in the Flint River and the old corroded pipes led into the people.
So the the water that came through the pipes there where lead was formed, I guess, right?
Right. Well, the water, as the contamination in the water came through the pipes, it allowed not only lead but other particles to come through. So people's water was brown and had a smell to it. So they would come to the city council and bring jugs of this brown water and tell them our water is not stable and we can't shower, we can't drink it, we can't cook. But they didn't listen the first year, and then when Dr. Karen Weaver became the mayor, she started helping the people as much as she could.
Now, this is a nationwide concern. Even the president has gotten involved with this too, and there's assistance that the federal government is assisting with the.
The president was there for the car show about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
He said that it was a tragedy what's going on in Flint.
Okay.
He, matter of fact, went back to Washington and released $800 million for Flint, for Michigan.
Okay.
The thing of it is, that money goes to the government. How much of that money will be allocated to Flint? Nobody knows.
Now, he couldn't
just
designate
it. He allocated it to the state of Michigan. Now, everybody know the money is for Flint, Michigan, and their water crisis.
Okay.
But the governor can do whatever he want with the money. He could give Flint whatever he wants to give them. And that's what a lot of the citizens of Flint are worried about. Us. When I was there, I was like, well, how much of that $800 million is Flint gonna come?
Now, how long would it take to correct the situation with the pipes?
Anywhere from 10 to 15 years. They would have to go block by block by block, house by house by house, change every pipe at every house in that city. They have a residence of 100,000 people there.
Okay.
I talked to a master plumber down there who's been real advised to Mayor Weaver. I talked to him. He said that he can have the people there. It will cost the state $1.5 billion. That was the offer that was given.
This is one of the reasons why you were invited to the program tonight, to let the people here know just how serious the problem is. And it's caused by the governor, I guess, right?
The governor.
The head of the state. And he has the money to take care of the problem, but, oh my goodness, and 10 to 15 years to correct the problem. Well, what are the people going to do in the meantime?
Well, Dr. Brooks, when I pulled up in Flint, Michigan, and the stories that I heard from the residents was devastating. I couldn't believe what I heard. They have pastors there. Matter of fact, I was in touch with a couple of them. Our first stop was at a church, and we met the pastor, Pastor Givens. We had a couple other pastors there, and they were real appreciative of us. But I heard from a woman that sat there and told me she had just had a baby.
Okay.
And her baby was born 3 months premature.
Mm-hmm.
And when the baby was born, he did not breathe. The doctors had to bring him back. So I heard that one story,
Mm-hmm.
and later on that day, I heard it 2 more times. Same story. The hospitals, the local hospitals in Flint, are now getting enormous cases of skin rashes, dried up skin, because I heard from one lady that said she had 2 children. She said I said, do you bath your children? She said, yeah. I said, you know, well, how do you do it? She said, I put them in a bathtub and I pray.
Mm. Mm-hmm. The deleterious effect of lead in the water that's affecting children long range, right? Because if they're...
But nobody knows. Nobody knows. I made a statement when I was there, and it might sound crazy, but the doctor told me I might be right. In 10 or 20 years, these children might turn into monsters. Some we seen out of a scary movie. We don't know what lead does, how much lead is being consumed in these children. The lead counts in these children are very, very high. It was a pediatrician doctor who brought it. I met her too. She was there and she talked about the lead count. See, the FDA has so much lead can be in the human body. And these are children we talking about.
Now, water in the home, they recommend that it's boiled before they use it for bathing purposes or cooking and so on.
No. You can't boil water that has lead. The heat attracts it.
Okay.
The only thing you can do, lead will get away from the cold water, but from the hot water, it attracts it. So they're not telling them boil. This here is tap water filter that they was giving out.
Okay.
Okay? And you can only pick these up at the police station between 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 in the evening.
Okay.
You had to have ID. If you didn't have ID, you couldn't get one of these.
Okay.
Now, this filter is easy to attach, all right? But if you read the box, it only filters 100 pounds of water. So if I don't know where I'm at 100 pounds, I got to keep reading my meter because I got to keep changing this. That's one thing. Now, the governor was giving these out to the residents of Flint for cooking and tap water. So people were using these and bathing, right? But Friday, the EPA tested these and it did not take the lead out. So these, for the last 6 months, Governor of Michigan has been giving people these filters and telling them it's okay. So they, in Flint, have been eating, bathing, and thinking that their lead is coming out. But Friday, the EPA came in and tested it and saw that the counts are still too high. They did not take the lead out. So that led me to, I brought this from Flint.
Okay.
I went and got one and brought it to Flint. I had one of the residents, because you can't get one unless you're a resident.
Okay.
So I had one of the residents go get one, and I brought it back, and I went to some master plumbers, and I went and did some research, and come to find out, this don't even tell you on the box. It says it reduces lead.
Okay.
It does not remove lead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he was fooling us from the jump when he come give these out.
Wow, wow.
Now, we're not going to talk about all the other particles that he done put in the water to try to get rid of the lead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you got to remember that now. So we're talking lead because that's the count. But what about all the other particles and poisons that he done put in there to try to get the lead out of the pipes that people are drinking?
So he's thinking about saving the state money from the companies. He wasn't thinking about the health, the destroying the lives of people within the city. That was the least of it.
You know, that was the leastest worry. I was there January the 27th. This has been going on since 2013.
Wow.
And it started in 2013 when it got switched over in 2016, 15, 2014, the water got switched back to Detroit. But it was so much lead in the water, and then the pipes are so corroded.
Okay.
And, you know, I did bring a picture of the pipes. And if you can see the pipes, you can see the corrosion that the lead is in.
So the problem now is that the water has been switched back, but the pipes is the problem.
Right. It has
corrosion,
to be.
that's it.
The water is coming out of the Flint water is coming out purified.
Okay.
But when it get to the house, the pipes are so crowded. And then it's based on zip code. If you live in a bad neighborhood and your zip code is bad, your water's still brown. If you live in the high class, because you know Flint is a college town too now.
Okay.
So if you live downtown or near the college, your water looks like water, but it's still full of lead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I say the governor is really hurting the people of Flint, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And this affects everybody in the United States. Not so much as it affects the human race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's really long-term health consequences.
The doctor, as she explained it to me, she could not say what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
All we could do is love these children, give them nutrients, and be parents to them.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about Governor Rick Snyder, you know, the governor of the state? Even if he resigns, it's still not going to rectify the problem, right? Because you said it's going to take 10 or 15 years.
Well, there's a plumber.
Corrected.
There's a plumber that's been advised in the state. I met with him. I talked to him. He's ready to go at the push of a button.
Okay.
He says he can have 100 plumbers there, master plumbers there, 100 diggers,
Okay.
100 contractors, 100 laborers there with the snap of a finger. The thing of it is, after all this, after the cry all over America, some of your stars have been down there. Cher been sent water down there. Rachel Maddow had a town hall meeting. Snoop Dogg was there Saturday, and just yesterday, Russell Simmons was there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, with this big old cry all over America, the governor has not started no work yet.
Wow. And he has the money from the federal government to start.
Well, he got the $800 million from the governor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from the government, from the president. That money, we still don't know, because, you know, Detroit has its problems too.
Okay.
So, you know, he's going to try to give Detroit some of that money. I don't know what he gonna do. I can't speak for another man. I don't know. I would never think that this would happen in the United States.
There's a lot of things happening within our government, but we're dealing with people. And you mentioned the president. He's trying all he could do nationwide and also worldwide.
His hands are tied.
Yeah, right. And then people that tied his hands criticize him.
Right.
Same people.
Right.
You know, but I am really concerned about, what about Mayor Karen Weaver? Tell us about her. You say she just got elected last term?
She got elected last term. I met Karen Weaver. I spoke with her. She is really an outstanding woman. I was so, I admired her strength, her you know, just how she come off. She really cares about her city and her people.
Okay.
Karen had the flu and was sick as I don't know what. But she was still there trying to help get water, get filters and everything for the people in Flint.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we took 1,000 bottles out there, cases of water, and 50 baby waters. And the last 250 cases that we had, I asked the Honorable Mayor Karen, I said, well, are the inmates in the jail getting fresh water?
Okay.
And she had her chief escort us over to the jail, and we dropped off the last 250 cases over at the jails. You know, I mean, we don't know. We don't know. They in city jail. They in jail. They gotta have fresh water.
Right. Well, tell us about the organization that you were heading up to get water together to go.
Well,
you had Chicago support. You mentioned about Mr. T.O. Hardeman. He's the former state director of Ceasefire, right?
Right. He's got his own organization called Violence Interrupters.
Okay.
When I did make a call to T.O. that I need water and wanted to do this trip, T.O. said, okay, let's do it.
Okay.
He came on, and he, when we got there, also Mr. Julius Armstrong from Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
He came on and went with us, and we even took, because, you know, dealing with women, you know, and all these men, so we took a sister from Zion, her name is Annette Taylor, and she went with us too.
Okay.
And so it was 5 of us that went in 2 vans.
Okay.
And, man, I gotta say this here. I wanna say Pastor Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, of the St. John's Missionary Baptist Church, yeah.
He heard about our mission, and he donated.
Without any hesitation.
With no hesitation. Pastor Gass of the Black Chambers of Commerce.
Okay.
Heard about it, donated to us. So we was able, then I gotta mention Avis Rental Car.
Okay.
In Libertyville. They heard about what was going on, knew we needed a cargo van. When we saw the cargo van, I said, I got too much water. He gave us 2 cargo vans for the price of 1.
Wow.
You know, and then he said, put this water going to Flint, Michigan. Put it on the windows, because I want my vans to be known that we're supporting.
It should. Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So, I mean, I can name, man, so many people donated. I mean, a lot of water that we didn't get that went out, that one guy named is Tommy Handyside, who's on the school board in Zion. I called Tom. I said, Tom, I need a case of water. He said, Clyde, this is my in-between week. I really ain't got no more. I said, I need 1 case of water. he brought me 240 cases of water.
Wow.
You know, and when we left, he still had water coming in because he got on the crusade, and we went Wednesday, he went that following Saturday.
Do you have another effort that to go back to Flint to take additional water?
The thing of it is, I talked to Flint this morning. I've talked to them this morning.
Okay.
Water is coming in from all over the country. They almost they got two problems. One problem is plastic take 460 years to dissolve. So now they got a problem with all this plastic.
Okay.
You know, so they're trying to find a landfill for all the plastic.
Okay.
That's one problem. The other problem is water is coming in, and it's coming in by the semi-trucks. They don't have places to distribute water. You know, not distribute, but to store the water.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, another problem is people work out there.
Okay.
So they can only go to the fire station from 9 to 9. We did pass the fire station. Fire station got lines of cars. They got the streets blocked off at every fire station where they can only get 2 cases of water, and they have to have ID. So if a person lost his wallet and was thirsty or needed some water or something like that, that was one. One of the things I learned that I need to share with you, that people can't bathe in drinking water. I didn't know that. That was my purpose, that so they can bathe. They can't bathe in drinking water. It's too purified for your skin.
Okay.
So that's another thing. So now my mission that I want to do, I want to go back out there, but I don't want to take just water. I want to take filters. Okay. I've been talking to the NFS and trying to get the EPA certified. I found out there is a filter that will remove lead. And that filter is a carbon filtration filter that goes on in the house. As a matter of fact, I spoke to the NFS today on my way here to the studio, and they're sending me emails now. There is a filter that they said that they can take a shower with. It costs $80.
Wow.
So if I could just get 100 of them to take 100 families with children or pregnant women, these filters, it is much needed.
Because, as you remember, stating that there's other costs related, in addition to water. You needed funds even to take the water there, and like I said, getting filters, and there may be other. So monetary donations are welcome too. Right?
Yes. Well, I'm starting. Part of me, I talked to T.O. Hardeman en route here, and he was aboard with this. We need to get these filters for Flint. Because these people need to take baths. Baths is essential, and people do work, and we're going to go door to door. So what we're going to do is start a GoFundMe page.
Okay.
With that, they should be up and running tomorrow, but all the information that people want is on my Facebook page. Clyde McLemore. That I don't have any names, just Clyde McLemore, and go on Facebook. And it's open to the public. My page is open to the public, and I usually have a lot of, if anything new that comes in from Flint, I post it.
And you also talked about the effects of elevated levels, you know, in the blood and water, right?
Well, the EPA says that in outgoing, 10 parts or less, 10 parts less is elevated to be okay in a person. Now, incoming is 150 parts per billion, and this is certification of the EPA. So these levels in Flint are way over that.
Okay.
So these people are being what we call lead poison.
There's also, I was on email, a Dr. HANNA Atiska. She's called the Hero Doctor.
Yes, she is. I met her while I was there. She's a children's doctor.
Oh, okay.
And she was the one that discovered the lead levels in the children. And she was getting so many cases until she stepped up. I did meet her. She's a very, very dedicated woman. She's not scared either.
Okay.
She's not scared. She's really not scared. So.
That is fantastic. It's amazing how, when there's a crisis, how people come together. The same thing happened with Katrina, I think. But in Katrina, Louisiana, they had problems too because they had the trailers that were not used even. The hundreds of trailers that were not even used.
You know, when Katrina went down, I went down the year after that to see, and it really hurt me because they're not even cleaning it up.
Even today.
Even
and
today.
That was 2005, so it's been 11 years ago now.
Yeah.
2000,
so it still has not been cleaned up.
2005, and oh my goodness.
It hasn't been cleaned up. And the 9th Ward is still bad over there.
And another thing, too, for our guests to understand that this identical thing happening now in the 9th Ward with Katrina, it was majority minorities.
That's all. That's all living in the 9th Ward.
Is minorities.
Minorities. Black and brown people.
I had mentioned this, and I think I mentioned to you. A young lady, my wife was in a hospital for a few days, and she worked there. She came and sat down beside me. She said, "Dr. Brooks, why are African Americans hated so by Caucasians?" And I started thinking, I've been working in affirmative action, you know, for many years, that I just didn't have an answer for it. We've been talking about it and talking about it. I have forums, you know, and all. As a matter of fact, I had a couple recently about health disparities among minorities, and then this falls right up on it. Maybe when I have my next forum, I have you come and, you know, be one of the speakers there. But I think about Jesus Christ. What happened is that he came into his own, and his own received him not. You know, he couldn't understand that, you know, his own.
Right.
And then the Creator was killed by his creations. You know, so I could only give it that, but that's not a reason why when the book of life is open, you know, your record will be there. And I guess people, if they don't believe in the where you're going to go afterwards, the hereafter.
Right.
If you don't believe in the hereafter, I guess. But, you know, I tell many jokes and try to get people happy, laughing, and so forth, you know. But then we have situations right in North Chicago, you know, where the school district is trying to get a learned charter school, for example. And then the school district, they're not educating the kids, but they don't want to see another school come in that will get the kids prepared for the later years, you know. And the early years are so important. If you don't train them while they're young, then, you know, what's going to happen? They end up incarcerated. And maybe that's the goal there is to incarcerate, keep privatizing the prison and so forth. So we can go on, and I just don't have the answer. And of course, we can discuss it, you know, and so forth.
And that's another show.
But that's another show. And I guess we're going to have to do that, too, get people from all over the area to come in and have minorities and non-minorities sit down at the round table and talk.
That'd be a good idea.
You know?
Because I couldn't answer that question. I'm in my 50s, and I just, it's been like that. I mean, I have something to say on it, the way, I mean, I've been in the South.
And you've seen in the South, you're beaten but Willie Lynch told the slave owners, say, look, don't beat your slaves. You need those slaves to work for you, right? If you kill them, you have no one to work. He said, but I have a procedure that you can use on them to, you have them under control perpetually. Now that was 1712 when he told these slave owners that. This is 2016. Now what the solution was to divide and conquer. You know, of course, it goes into more detail on that, but divide and conquer was the bottom line. You know, this type of thing. So maybe the more we talk about it, they don't even want you to have African American history in the textbook. And African Americans invented just about everything. I have a supplement called 1001 Black Inventions. That's a supplement. So everything was invented. The White House, and it was invented, built by and designed, you know, by an African American, and now an African American living in the White House, you know. So I don't know. They don't like that. So I don't know. Something has to be. I guess we just have to keep praying. People, pastors will tell me, Brooks, go to 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then they should hear from heaven. So we're not going to hear from heaven until we turn from our wicked ways, you know. Now, I mentioned this. What's going to happen long-term health consequences, you know. We may not live to see it now, but the children, you know, when they get your age, what's going to happen? You said someone told they're going to be.
You know, that was something that I said because I remember when I was a kid, I saw a scary movie, you know, Creatures from the Black Lagoon, you know, where, you know, we don't know what, and that's what the doctor, when I had asked her, when I met her, I said, what is the effects? You know, now, once the lead is in your system,
okay,
they can't get it out.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Milk will balance it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't ask me how I learned. Just in 1 week, I've learned so much stuff about the lead and what happens.
Okay.
But milk balances it out.
Okay.
Okay. And from that can help them. And she said nutrition, like fruits.
Okay.
Love. You know, caring. You know, we're gonna have to do this with these kids.
Okay. Okay.
This is what we're gonna have to do with these kids. We need to do it with all of them because we got so much going on here in Lake County, Chicago, and everything. But I thought this was just major.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, the Flint River, you know, this is calling to a lot of people's attention nationwide, if not worldwide. But they mention it's highly corrosive, 19 times more so than the Lake Huron supply. Now we have the Lake Michigan. I guess do they get to use that as a source of water?
Well, you know, some of the mayors donated some water to go to Flint, and Zion was one. So Zion, you know, after he got wind of all this here, he went to have his department to find out, could this happen in Zion?
Okay.
And more likely, this couldn't happen up here in Lake County because we don't have a river that's full of industrial wasteland like Flint did. Okay. Now, there is a problem. We got 2 nuclear tubes over there in Zion.
Okay.
You know, so if it get to leaking, we in trouble too.
Okay.
But it's more likely that it would never happen. Like I said, nobody ever thought it would happen in Flint.
Okay. Tell me this though. Did you I was reading there were some researchers from Virginia Tech that did in-home testing and found elevated levels of lead in the drinking water, and they made their findings public.
That was Friday.
These from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that was Friday. You know, the young people are the ones that are doing the work.
And I assume these are young Caucasians.
These are college kids.
These are Caucasians too.
They were college kids, and our youth, our future, and they the one. I mean, Dr. Brooks, me and you, we can. It's up to them now.
Okay.
You know, believe it or not, there's another Dr. Brooks gonna be sitting here in another 20 years. That's gonna be doing that.
Hopefully that the lead will not get to it. and you're paving the way.
Right. They did this study, and they found out even with this filter on there, that they still had lead in it.
Yeah, because what happened, you mentioned that it reduces the effect of lead.
Right.
It does not correct it.
Right.
Right. So
this was something that Governor Snyder passed out to the people and told them that it worked. It's easy to put on, it'll work, but it's not. It's not.
Now, he didn't tell them it just reduces it.
He didn't tell them that. And I mean, if I was in a crisis, I don't know if I would sit there and read this box like I did.
Right.
You know, you got to look at asbestos, benzene, chloride. All this stuff is in that water now.
Yeah, the question always raised, what's in the water, you know?
Right.
And like I said, you had the time to check into it, but the average person is getting information from you.
Right.
To pass on, you know.
Right, and I'm doing research. This is how I didn't know nothing about anything about lead, filters, or anything 1 week ago. This has all been through research.
Well, again, let our audience know who's to blame.
Governor Rick Snyder. He knew about it. He got emails. The email was released. The bad thing of it was, before President Obama got there, he wouldn't even release the... and the people tonight, right now, is going on right now. They're in Flint, Michigan at a city council meeting, and they're protesting about paying their
oh, yeah, did you mention that? About
they're protesting about paying their water bill.
They're requiring the people to pay for the water.
And if they don't pay for it, if you get 2 years worth of no paying, Michigan law allows them to take the house.
No matter what the
so people are paying they're paying their water bill because they're scared of losing their house.
Paying for water that's
poison.
We going. Prayer is answered. So he said, we don't have the answers. Prayer is answered. We have to pray to God too. How was the reception when you got to you and your team got to Flint?
When we got to Flint, the police met us and rolled us in.
Oh.
So we had, and when we got to the NAACP office, we were escorted in, and Jesse Jackson was there, and all these people was there, and that's where I saw Rick Snyder, but I didn't even know who he was.
Okay.
He was there too, and that's when he apologized for the contamination in the water. He apologized for it, but a civil rights attorney tried to send him a lawsuit, and he sent it back saying that he's not responsible. But he apologized for it, so he talked in, yeah.
But, so he appointed the, let's see, that's Dan Wyant, W-Y-A-N-T, Wyant.
That was the guy that told...
Quality Director for the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality.
Right.
Did he put the blame on him, is that?
Well, that was, you know, it's just like what Rahm Emanuel did. He fired his chief, you know, but he don't look at him being the head. So what he did is fired this guy, and from my understanding, the next guy who got it, he just quit yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But the next guy he hired was black. And he quit yesterday. He gave his resignation yesterday.
Okay.
So what he did was, this guy here who he fired, he hired a Afro-American in his place, and this Afro-American been, you know,
part of the system.
You know, so now he resigned yesterday.
Wow, wow. Now, the governor, Snyder, Rick Snyder, he knows the problem. He's gotten funds from the federal government, and you say they're having a meeting tonight?
Tonight they're having a meeting right now. They're protesting not to pay their water bills.
Okay, okay.
But there's a Michigan law that if you don't pay it and you get 2 years behind in it, they can take your house. So you look at senior citizens and people that done worked and retired and bought their home, they don't want to lose their home.
Right, right.
So they're going to, you know, that's going to be a hard one. You got the young people saying, we're not going to pay it, and they're out protesting it. But then you got these senior citizens that say, I'm not going to lose my house. See, so we kind of mixed up in feelings instead of all us join up and come together, and they don't pay that water bill. Why pay for something that you can't use?
Well, it's amazing. We got problems all over the country. You mentioned Chicago with the police department, you know, and the mayor there, he said he accepts responsibility, but he won't resign, right? They're trying to get him to resign. He won't resign. And Governor Snyder, he accepted responsibility because he has to. He's the head. He's responsible for the state. But he won't. But would resignations take care of the problem? No.
They need to start to work. He needs to give the go-ahead to start to work. They're going to take block by, they already got it how they're going to do it. Mayor Weaver.
The plan is there.
The plan is there. Take block by block by block by block. And it may take 4 or 5 years to do that. But the way he said, the master plumber, the man that got the contract, he said it would take from, he said it wouldn't be 10 years. But you got to get the job started. If you don't start it, it's been 2 years that they've been waiting on it.
Now, with this water supply situation, it's going to have to be a continual effort then, right? Getting bottled water. And really, you told us about the problem with the plastic bottles, you know.
And then they're not coordinated up there. Some places that they got giving away water, people can drive up and get water. There's some places they got where they're getting water at, they got long lines. So they say it needs to be coordinated effort, but you know, that's small. That's small stuff. Right now, people need water. I gave a lady 5 cases of water. She was so happy. She tried to give me $20. I said, ma'am, I don't want no money. I didn't come all the way up here for that. Ma'am, this is yours. She said, well, can I give you? She gave me some fruit. I said, well, I'm hungry. She gave me some oranges and some potato chips. I said, I'm hungry. I eat that. Thank you, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? She said, sir, I don't want nothing for free. This is the people, they just want water.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, I may, you know, everyone get at me by telling jokes, and you just mentioned something. I'm going to end this program with a joke. Why did the orange lose the race? He ran out of juice. I had to get that in, you know.
Dr. Brooks, you always got a good one. I like the other one you do.
Which one?
When you see a pretty girl, you say, did it hurt? And she say, what for? You say, because you fell from heaven.
No, yeah, I tell. Did you hurt yourself when you when you fell?
That one there gets
you
me.
Like that, huh?
I like that one. I took that one home to my wife.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Mr. Clyde McLemore, and he's a community activist and also chairman of Black Lives Matter movement, and that's a nationwide organization.
Right.
Right? And we've been focusing upon the Flint, Michigan water crisis, and he want to express his gratitude for everyone in the county and surrounding areas that donated water, and they got to have an overflow of water, but they will never use it all because of the situation with the lead pipes there, which are going to take at least 2 years, 10 years. 10 years. At least 10 years to rectify. So you can reach him at Clyde McLemore. That's Clyde McLemore at yahoo.com.
At ymail.com, not Yahoo.
Yahoo, that Y.
Yeah, that's ymail.
Just ymail.com, okay?
Or on Facebook.
Okay. Clyde McLemore.
Right.
Thank you very much for taking time from your busy schedules to watch the program. We see you again next week, 7 o'clock, every Thursday afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host.